Everybody, I'm back with another YouTube video, and on today's video, guys, I have decided to do a worst to best ranking on the counselors in Friday the 13th. And I don't know, it just really popped up into my mind, and I figured we did the Jason remake ranking, and today we're going to be doing a re-ranking on the counselors. And of course, the counselors is going to be a lot different. I know I said that I didn't really have any mixed opinions, but I definitely do. And I think I said that. But I do have a lot of mixed opinions on the counselors now. Once you start actually playing all the counselors, because I have been, I kind of switch to different ones each time so I can get used to playing as each and every counselor. And I think everybody should do that because a lot of people play as the same counselor and they don't really get to know how good those other counselors are. They're just like, oh, this is my favorite, and they just assume that another counselor is really bad. And I'm going to be mainly ranking these counselors based on their general stats. Perks are not going to be really a big effect because I really just want to rank these guys based on their general stats. They're all in all regular stats that they have that just come with them with no perks. Because otherwise it just makes it really complicated and every counselor can be boosted up quite a bit. But other than that, I will be including the perks a little bit, and I'm going to be ranking these from worst to best, and I have some definitely mixed opinions. I think at last place last time was Choppa, and you'll be surprised at what I put on last place this time because some people like this person. So let's get on to the ranking because this video is going to be very long. And before we start, I did order 4 new Goosebumps books. It'll well be a surprise, and I will show you them in about 2 weeks is when they should be coming. So let's start the ranking. So in last place here, the worst counselor, in my opinion, is Jenny Meyers. I know some people like her, and the only reason they really like Jenny is because she has that 10 out of 10 composure. But even so, that she has that 10 out of 10 composure, it really doesn't benefit anything to me for her. And I've never really seen the entire purpose of what Jenny is for. So her strengths are composure, luck. Her stamina is in the middle. It's okay. And then she's got pretty good stealth. But those combinations just really don't make her for a good character. I really don't understand exactly what Jenny was for because she has 1 strength but yet 8 luck. And I'm just really confused. And I know a lot of people say, well, you can fix that up with like a sucker punch perk or something like that, and you can make her a good fighting type. But I've never really seen the whole point of what Jenny is supposed to be. She's not very good at running, so she's not really much of a runner. Yes, you can give her the marathon perk, which I have a legendary marathon, sucker punch. Of course, I have many other legendaries, but those are probably one of the 2 most useful legendaries that I have in the game. But even with those perks, it really doesn't do much, especially the Tinker. Like, I put that on her, and the Tinker perk just doesn't really affect the repair as much as you would think it would. Sucker Punch, I mean, every time I put that perk onto a counselor, I never really get to see what it can do. And then I put on Restful, the stamina recharge rate. But overall, she has to be the worst girl counselor. I do not see a lot of people play as Jenny. Probably never. Even since the Rage update, nobody really plays as Jenny. I only see beginners play as Jenny. And like I said, I've never really seen the full point of what Jenny is supposed to do in the game. Because composure, luck, and stealth just don't really go together. And yeah, you can fix her up with that strength and that stamina, and she can become a pretty decent counselor. Same with repair. But otherwise, she's just not really very useful. I think she's more of kind of like a lone wolf counselor, if you really ask me, because she's not very good at helping other counselors. So I think if you wanted to play as this counselor, it'd be best to play as her alone and not in a group. So let's get on to the next person. So next up for me has to be Victoria Sterling, and I don't play as her a lot because I just really don't like Victoria, and the same thing with Victoria. I've never really seen the entire point of her. But she does have some better stats, definitely some better stats than Jenny does. She has 8 luck, which is a good stat, 7 stamina, and 7 stealth. But with that 4 speed, It's really hard to make her a good runner unless you put on some better, like a marathon perk. But yeah, same with Victoria. Even high-level players really don't play as Victoria, even if they have unlocked her. I don't see very many people play as Victoria. It's the same with Jenny. She might be one of the most least popular girls, Jenny and Victoria. And then the least popular boy would have to be probably either Choppa or Shelly. But they got some pretty good stuff, and I'll talk about that later. But Victoria, just not very good counselor overall. Yes, she has that good stamina, that good stealth, and that good luck. But with that 2 strength, yes, you can fix it up with a sucker punch, and you can make her a pretty decent fighter if you give her escape artist, sucker punch, and yeah, and then whatever other perk. She can become a decent fighter, but I really just never seen, once again, the whole point of what Victoria is supposed to do. Not a lot of people play as her, and she's just overall not the best counselor. And yeah, it's really hard to rank some of the counselors that don't have anything 10 out of 10 on them. But that's just my opinion. Let's get on to the next counselor. Coming up next on our list used to be the last place person, but he has definitely had some improvements since I've been playing him a lot more often, is Eric, Mr. Choppa. He is a pretty decent counselor, and I like his little wrestling. If you get the clothing pack, he gets this like wrestling. You can get this wrestling thing, but yeah, Choppa, he's had some improvements since I've been playing because I've been able to add some pretty good perks onto him. And some of his perks are not very hard to fix up. Some of his good stats are stealth and repair. So if you want to repair a car, this is definitely, I think I know exactly what Choppa was meant to be. He's meant to be that stealthy car repairer. And if a Jason does not put a trap there, he's pretty much good to go and putting in and repairing stuff because he got that 8 stealth and that 10 repair. And if you could even add a sense avoidance like home buddy perk, which I have a legendary perk for that, he could become a pretty powerful repairer. But there is some downsides to him because if Jason does catch him, which sometimes he will, he's not going to be the best fighter. And I know that you can add like an escape artist for his composure or the sucker punch for his strength, but it's not really going to do much. Like I said, I've never really seen how escape artist even really improves the break free from Jason's grab easier. Like it doesn't really give that better composure when escaping Jason's grab. I have an epic escape artist. It doesn't do much. And then sucker punch, like I said, I don't know. I've not really experienced. I've not really seen what sucker punch can do much yet. I use it like sometimes, but I'm not exactly sure. And then that marathon perk, which can improve his stamina. So he can be a pretty good counselor, but I definitely recommend playing Choppa, not with like a big group, but with just like one other person, a couple of other people, maybe at least 3 people along with him, not too big of a group, at least 1 or 2 people with him, and he can become a pretty good character. But otherwise, Choppa goes right here, and I'm very sorry for those Choppa fans, but he's not really that bad. He's definitely better than the last 2 on the list. So let's get on to the next one. So next up for me has to be Mitch. And Mitch is definitely another lone wolf character. Much like Jenny, he's definitely another one of those characters that definitely should be played alone and not in groups. So some of his strengths is that he has 9 composure, 8 repair, and he's got 6 stealth. I think a lot of people consider about 4 or below a weakness. So he's got pretty bad stamina, bad luck, strength, and speed. I think he is the second slowest guy. He's behind Shelly, and then Choppa is the slowest. You can fix up his stamina pretty good to become a decent a better runner. So I think that's what mainly puts him up higher on the list, is that you can fix up his stamina pretty well. Luck, with the Man at Arms perk, I only have a common for that, like a 2. Yeah, 2 is common. I only have a 2 for that, so I haven't really seen the big improvement. Maybe like a rare or an uncommon would do something, or even an epic, legendary, stuff like that can improve that, because he has 2 luck, 3 strength, so he's definitely not meant to be much of a fighter boy. He's more of kind of a lone wolf, I would say, but with that 9 composure, it kind of puts him up higher than Choppa, I think, and that 8 repair and 6 stealth, it just puts him slightly better than Choppa, I think. Just some slight improvements with the stamina, composure, repair might be down a little bit, but I still think that Mitch is just a little bit better than Choppa in the game. But he's definitely meant to be a lone wolf, I think. And I used to think that he was one of the best characters. I ranked him number 2 on my list. But Mitch Floyd, yeah, I think I don't really like him very much as I used to. So let's get on to the next counselor. Next counselor for me has to be Chad. And Chad used to be a lot higher before the Rage update. And there was a lot of people who played Chad just to annoy the heck out of Jason. And I see some definite uses for Chad. I think what Chad is meant for is to distract Jason from other counselors. You know what? I'm going to put some nice clothing. I'm going to put him in just a little Goku costume on. But I think what he's meant for is definitely to distract Jason. He's got that 10 out of 10 luck. Pretty good speed, but you can fix up his stamina a little bit more if you put like a marathon or a stamina recharge rate perk on him. He can be a pretty good runner, not that bad at all. He's got that 2 repair, so I think he is meant to distract Jason. Not even meant to put the parts to the cars, but he is meant to straight up distract Jason from everybody else. So he is definitely meant to be alone and to distract Jason. Maybe with a second player, but I think Chad his whole point is to distract Jason. And if you can play this guy right, if you can master Chad, he can become a pretty decent guy. But if you're dumb, he's going to die. So if you put that Sucker Punch perk on him, he can be a pretty decent fighter. And then fix up that composure a little bit with 2 perks, he can be pretty good. But he's definitely not meant to repair. Chad is meant to distract Jason. And ever since the Rage update, he has definitely fell down on the list because people do not use Chad as much as they used to. But you can definitely fix up this player with a couple of perks and make him a very good distractor from Jason. So that's why I ranked Chad a little bit higher than Mitch. I still love Mitch, but I just think Chad goes right here on the list. So let's get on to the next person. Next up for me is Tiffany. And this is another person kind of like Chad, probably the annoyingest girl in the game, and the most annoying boy has to be Chad. This is another person where I think it's meant to distract Jason, and Tiffany is great to be in groups. Very, very great to be in groups. And I think that she is good to bring parts to the car because she has that 10 out of 10 stealth, 9 stamina, and 6 speed, which is pretty good. And if you can fix up that stamina a little bit more, she can be great for bringing parts to the car. Not fixing them, she only has 1 repair, and even if you give her a tinker perk, it's just not worth the while of trying to repair something from her unless you really want to. She's got that 2 strength, which you can fix up a little bit, not too much, 3 composure, and 4 luck. So she is definitely meant to be in groups and to kind of, hide away from Jason when she's in groups. And I think that she's great to be in groups. She's great to hide when she is in groups, not to fight. Some people are pretty good at fighting with Tiffany as long as you can kind of fix up her strength and her composure a little bit. She can be pretty decent. Her luck's not too bad. But I used to rank Tiffany as the last person on my list. But yeah, Tiffany goes right here. No more to say about Tiffany. Let's get on to the next person. Now, the jack of all trades, it's Kenny, who has a 5 out of 5 on absolutely everything. So Kenny, I think, is a counselor that is meant to be something that you choose. You choose what you want Kenny to be. So you either can give him that good strength, good composure, and good luck, and you can make him a good fighter. You can give him a little bit more stamina and make him a good runner, and then maybe a little bit of strength. He can be a pretty decent fighter. You can make him a good repairer and add a little bit of stealth in. This is kind of one of those characters where you get to choose what he is. And we're definitely getting into mid-tier here. So Kenny, I'm sure you all know why he's in the middle of this list, because he is kind of just one of those characters where you get to choose what you put on him. What I did was I put on a couple of useful legendary perks onto him to make him that much better with some things. That's what I did with Kenny. That's what I chose to do. But I think if you're going to play as this character, choose differently each time what you're going to do with Kenny, what he's meant to be. This is definitely a choose your own path character. So I think Kenny can just be an all-around character depending on what you do. Each game he can be pretty much whatever you want him to be, but not like 10 out of 10 everything. Just a certain character. He can be almost like every other character in the game. If you are smart and you know what you're doing, Kenny can become a pretty good, choose your own kind of thing. So yeah, I'm putting Kenny right here. He is not a very bad counselor. He dies quite a bit when I play as him. Sometimes I get lucky and I escape, but that's just what Kenny's meant to be. And he's not very, very bad, and he's not, the best of the best. So I'm putting Kenny right here, just for those reasons. Next up for me is going to be Bugsy, and I know a lot of people are going to get mad because the next person on this list, you guys are going to be like, there's no way he's higher than Brandon Bugsy. Bugsy is kind of like Vanessa. He's meant to bring parts to the car. He's good to be in groups. If you find a part for Bugsy, bring it to the car and let somebody else repair it, because he obviously has that one repair. He's got 2 luck and 2 stealth. These are some easy things you can fix. You can give a man-at-arms for luck, a nice Lightfoot perk for stealth, so when you're going to the car, can't hear you as easy, and then fix up that Tinker perk just in case for the last stand that you have to repair that. I think because I like to rank this, I think Bugsy deserves to be on this part of the list because he has some easy fixes for his weaknesses if you put the right perks in. And I know that I said that the perks aren't going to do much because, most perks don't really do much. That's why I said that. I'm kind of ranking these mainly by their general stats. But if you put on some decent perks, they can be slightly better than other people. And I think that's why Bugsy's going to go right here. He's good to be alone and in groups. It just all really depends. But if you find a part, this is definitely what he's meant to be. Bring a part. And if he can fix up his stealth, maybe his luck a little bit too, he can become a pretty good character to help out other people. Or even defend people when they're repairing, because he's got that 10 out of 10 strength. You can, easily knock out Jason if he is not in rage, and defend this other person who's trying to repair, like maybe Debra or Choppa. Like I said, Choppa and Debra, because they have that 10 out of 10 of repair, but they don't have the best strength, it's good to be with one other person who has that good strength. So Bugsy definitely combines with those good repair characters because of that 10 out of 10 strength. So I think he is meant to be a good defender when helping out, basically helping out people try to repair stuff. So that's why Bugsy is going to go right here. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad on the next person on this list. So yeah, just don't get too mad. Yes, the person who's better than Bugsy, who would have thought? Sheldon Finkelstein. I think this is another one of those things where people underestimate a counselor or a Jason or a Jason stat or anything like that. I think this is another one of those times where people really underestimate a counselor or a Jason just because of, that certain bad stat. But I think Sheldon can become a great counselor. Not a lot of people play as him, and I think that's why they don't really get to see his good potential. On his strengths, he has 7 out of 10 strength, which is really not that bad. He's got 8 stealth, 5 repair, which is pretty decent, and 6 composure. So he is a pretty good fighter, but when that one luck, he's definitely going to run his baseball bat or whatever he's using. Is definitely going to die out on the first try. So if you want to add those couple of extra hits in there, put on a Man-at-Arms perk, and he's pretty good to go. Man-at-Arms, Marathon, and he's overall a pretty great counselor. And that's why I'm putting Shelly here, because he's actually pretty good. You can easily fix up some of his downfalls, like with that repair. If you just want to make him a little bit better at repair, give him that tinker, give him a Man-at-Arms for his luck, Marathon, and he's good to go. I mean, he's pretty good. He's not bad at all. I think Sheldon definitely is meant to be in groups. You can do pretty good with him alone, but I think he's more meant to be in groups, and if you can put him on a pretty good repair, he can be great for that. He's got, a good amount of strength, stealth, composure, and he's really not that bad. And I think people really underestimate Shelly. So we're still in the mid-tier, and we're kind of getting in the higher tier. We're pretty close to high tier, but not quite yet. So let's get on to the next counselor. So the next counselor for me is Debra. Debra is definitely better for repairing than Choppa, and she can be pretty good if you have another counselor with you. Debra is definitely meant to be in groups, and if you have someone like Bugsy in that group, you're good to go. He's got that 10 out of 10 strength, and he can defend you. And she only has 1 strength. You can fix that up a little bit with the sucker punch, fix up that stamina with the Marathon, and that luck with the Man-at-Arms, and she's a little bit better than she was originally. So yeah, overall, she can become a pretty good counselor if she is in groups and she has someone to defend her, and you can fix up her perks a little bit. It can make her a little bit better, and I think that's why I ranked her high on this list. I know a lot of people like Debra, so I'm not sure that I really have to explain why Debra is ranked this high on the list. So she goes right here. Next person. So, we're getting on to the number 3 spot, taking that bronze medal. We are getting into high tier here, and that is Vanessa Jones. Vanessa definitely has a reason to be in the game. A very straightforward reason, I think, and that is to run away from Jason. I think that if you were in groups with Vanessa, you're pretty good to go, and she can be a really good lone wolf too. Like, she can run away from Jason if she is alone and quickly get to a group of people, because she's got that 10 out of 10 speed and that 9 out of 10 stamina. If you really want to get that 10 out of 10 stamina, you can, and you can give her that Marathon perk, which will definitely give her that 10 out of 10 stamina. She can literally run almost 30 seconds flat. That's how good her stamina is. So if you really want to fix that up a little bit more, give that couple of extra seconds, I guess you can give her a Marathon perk or the stamina recharge to make her stamina build up faster. But she's got, on the downside, very bad stealth. So she is probably not the best to be alone sometimes. She can run away from Jason really fast. So I recommend that she's in groups, but if she is alone, quickly get to a big group. She's got 3 composure, which you can kind of fix up with the escape artist, or maybe like a night owl if you don't like the fact that it goes dark sometimes. And you definitely don't want her stumbling while she's running, so you can give her spatial awareness, would be another good perk to put on her. And then repair, she's just not good for repair. Vanessa is definitely great when she's alone to get the parts to the cars. And if she is alone and Jason's coming after her, quickly get to a group and she's pretty much good to go. So Vanessa is definitely on the higher tier, and she goes right here on the list. I'm surprised this list is actually shorter than the Jasons. I think it's actually harder to rank the Jasons than the counselors, even that there's many more counselors in the game than Jasons. But that's just me. Let's get on to the number 2 spot, taking the silver medal. Actually, guys, I skipped someone, so we definitely misplaced a bunch of people. So this is on the higher tier spot, and at number 3 is AJ Mason, and I almost forgot to rank her, so I think I misranked a couple of people, but you get the idea. AJ Mason is really not that bad of a character, and there's a lot of people who play as AJ. She is, I think, out of the two who have 10 out of 10 stealth, Tiffany has 10 out of 10 stealth. I think AJ is the better for that. And she can be a great solo character. She can hide for Jason for quite a bit of the game. And if you're smart enough, you can get a repair in fast because she's got that 7 repair. She's got that 7 composure. So even if Jason catches her, she can still do pretty good if he grabs her. And you can fix up that strength a little bit and that luck, and she can become a decent character. Same with the stamina. You can do that too if you really want to. But she is really not that bad of a character. Second best girl, definitely. I mean, AJ, I can see why a lot of people play as her. And if you put on that dark clothing on her, I mean, she can be very stealthy. So she is definitely good being a lone wolf. If you want to be in groups with her, that's totally fine. She's not the best runner. She's equivalent to Sheldon in running. But if you can fix up that stamina a little bit, she can be a little bit better. But yeah, AJ, high tier right here. I think Vanessa can still be considered high tier as well. But this is the official bronze medal. So let's get on to the silver medal. So taking that second place is Adam Palomino, the best boy in the game, in my opinion. The best boy used to be Mitch, but now it is Adam Palomino. There's some things that make this counselor very great, and he is great to be in groups. If you have somebody, he doesn't even really need a defender. He's got 6 repair and 8 strength, which is very surprising because a lot of people who have good strength don't have very good repair. Except for Shelly, he's got 7 strength and 5 repair. But I think it's better to have 8 strength and 6 repair, just to, bump that up a little bit. And then he's got 7 composure. He's got pretty bad stealth. It's a 3, but you can fix that up a little bit better. Probably make it a 5 if you put on that Lightfoot perk, and then improve that stamina a little bit because he's not a very good runner. Adam Palomino is not very good. He's got that 5 speed and 4 stamina, but you can make that stamina a little bit better if you put on a marathon, and then the luck you can put up to maybe about a 4 or 5 at the most if you put on a man-at-arms. Just it really depends on what kind of perk you have. But yes, Adam can become a potentially great counselor. He can become a great defender, and he is also good at repair. So he's kind of both sides. He's pretty smart, and he's pretty well built and a good fighter, except for that luck. But other than that, Adam Palomino goes right here on the list. And for the best counselor is the same as last time. So taking first place is Fox. A lot of people love Fox, and that is good because I love Fox as well. Fox is the strongest girl counselor, and she is also the best counselor in my opinion. I think that Fox is just absolutely great. She's an all-around counselor. She can become a great fighter. If you fix up that luck a little bit with man-at-arms, she can be a great fighter because she's got that 7 strength, 6 composure. Her stealth is at 4, which you can fix up to maybe at the most a 5 or a 6 if you put on a Lightfoot. She's got 5 stamina, which you can fix up as well, and the luck. And then after that, she basically becomes the best counselor, I think, if you put on those good perks that make her slightly better than Adam. So yeah, Fox goes right here on the list. I don't think it was much as a surprise to most of you. Some might disagree with me. You have your own opinion. So what do you guys think about my list? I decided to do this. I definitely do have mixed opinions. I don't know why in the last video I said I don't have very mixed opinions on them. But yeah, I definitely have some mixed opinions for the best and the worst counselors in the game. And I think the counselors was a lot easier to rank than the Jasons. The Jasons is really, really hard. And I think that they kind of try to equalize all of the Jasons in the game. And same with the counselors, but there's just some slightly better things with some of the counselors. If you really think about it, what can you honestly fix up easier than other people? Like if someone has bad speed, that's pretty hard to improve. If you had like a legendary perk like Speed Demon, you have a chance to get a 1% speed, which wouldn't really do much. But you know what I'm saying? Like, some counselors with those weaknesses, you can easily fix with some easy, straight up, good perks. But I mainly tried to do their all in all original stats because the perks don't do a lot, to be honest with you. So yeah, Fox is the best counselor overall, in my opinion. So what do you guys think about the video? The next video, I'm not exactly sure what it'll be next, but in the next couple of videos, my package should come in, and I'll get to show you those 4 new Goosebumps books, which are a surprise. So yes, let's just end this video. Like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.